When we look at the commonalities we have and where you come from and what happened here, we know that colonization has happened on both sides. We know there has been restrictive and oppressive policies. But we go back to what we really understand. We have several different things in our lives that we find the commonalities and rather than parallels. It's not a time to find differences, because that's what creates the gaps. You are in the situation to have an understanding of Indigenous peoples, ways of knowing, doing, and being. This is an opportunity that we create accomplices with each other to find equality as human beings, because that is our first and true identity. We're all human beings. Often we teach that when people are brought, when the Creator put the people, human beings upon the earth, He put 4 brothers out there. And He said, I'll send one to the other side, and we'll call that the black world. We'll send another to the white world and one to the yellow world. And here we'll keep one here for the red world. So you're to teach the 7 sacred teachings to the people as they multiply, to create harmony. And when we see that, we understand that we're all created equally as human beings. We're also created in the image of our Creator, but it's not the physical body, but the spirit within. The body is a gift from our Mother Earth, and it's created just like her. The hair on your body represents sweet grass that grows on the prairie. Your skeleton, your bones represent the mountains, rocks used in ceremonies like a sweat lodge. Your tears are the waters upon the earth. Your breath is the wind. And we see that all the time, and your heart will pump and pulsate like the core of a mother does. And the shade of shell you carry is like a mother's shell. White and gold sands, brown, black, so it's 4 different shades of brown. We know what we've come through in history, but it's time to regenerate and refurbish what we do know, to take the dust off and create that relationship with each other as equal human beings, because that is our first and true identity. Our cultural backgrounds, our roots, creates the diversity within all of us. Ceremonies, ways of life, where elders are honored and respected, was true for all cultures at one time in history. Languages was also a part of it. And we all have our own traditional languages. But as we explore the diversity of cultures, we do find those commonalities. As Rich Ragamis once said, we're not here to build bridges, because bridges will rust and collapse. We're here to fill in the gaps. And finding our commonalities and parallels will help fill in those gaps. Today we ask, no longer will there be differences amongst us, but humanity. Finding what we need in life to create that with each other. We are related to each other under the eyes of our Creator. We all have ceremonies and cultural practices from where we come from, long before religion. Not that we knock religion, but the spiritual practices of our people, we find the parallels. Dancing, the songs that come from our traditions. We all follow the natural laws of Mother Earth. From there we find our traditional laws. Honoring, respecting, having consideration for each other. Finding that common ground, creating that ethical space of cultural safety between all cultures. Our young people are going to be the next leaders in this world. And it's only up to us to create that, to put the footprints on the ground so that they may follow that. So they, in turn, can create a better world for themselves, but using the teachings of the past. The past is not a place of reliving, but a place of learning for all of us. Tomorrow is a place of hope at what we choose to do today. In many of our cultures, we don't look at the terminologies. In my culture, we don't look at the word term teenagers. It's rather degrading of them, because we tend to push them out. In my culture, we call them young people, young adults. Their voice is important. If we exclude them, then we miss out on the opportunity of teachings, guidance, and direction, so they in turn can make better choices. It's true around the world. No matter where we come from, we all look at the galaxy, we look at the stars, and there's a connection. Connection to land is important to all of us. In my culture, and the Blackfoot culture, and all other indigenous cultures, we often claim that we are the land. We are part of the land. We've always been here. And that's true from where you come from. But yet it's all connected to one, our Mother the Earth. When we see each other, we often have to look at what is important to us. The gift of life. The gift of equality. The gift of freedom to express ourselves in many different ways, in the positive ways. We are human beings. And we look at the teachings of the past that often reflect of what we can do today. You know, when I look at people, I see the human in them. The shade of the shell is of little consequence to me. It is but one of those components. It's like all of nature. Not all of nature is of one color, but they're all interrelated, interconnected. And that's true of all people. Despite what has happened in history, the dark history that we all come from, we're still interconnected. And we must never waver away from that connection. Should we do that, then we lose focus of what's real. Not to look at how we may deprive ourselves of situations by reflecting on the past and trying to relive it, but to reflect on what can be and doing so. They often tell us that we just do. In my language, we don't try, we don't even have a word for try. It's about giving and doing your best at anything you pursue in life. And our young people are all pursuing that. Yes, they're finding a lot of challenges out there, some quite negative. But if you follow the heart and listen to the heart, it'll guide us to the right place. And that's all we ask. And I ask you to open up your hearts and mind, allow those two to connect and to become real again. Not to exclude, but to include, to create those relationships with each other, healthy relationships. After all, we are brothers and sisters, no matter where we come from. And as human beings, we all have the same basic needs. We all share the four gifts of life: food, water, air, and the sun. And they don't discriminate. And that's true. And we must always follow that. We need to see each other as human beings. We must always greet each other as human beings. We must walk equally upon our Mother the Earth, without prejudice, without condemnation or judgment of each other, but to appreciate the life with each other. After all, life is a gift. And in my culture, a lifetime is measured by one day. Today is a whole new lifetime. Yesterday's lifetime is all but a memory. And tomorrow's lifetime is unguaranteed. But it is a place of hope by what we choose to do today.